Hello. How are we doing? Everyone well? Good. Nice. It's nice to be here. I told my mum I was going to be doing this and she was very excited, obviously, but she said, I don't want you swearing on there. We've not brought you up to swear, and she's right. My parents tried to bring me up properly. I can remember when I was a kid, my dad once let me stay up late to watch a documentary about the football manager, Barry Fry. Some of you may remember him. He used quite colourful language, did Barry Fry. Now, my dad had let me stay up late to watch this documentary, didn't want me to see any of the swearing. He used the worst censoring method I have ever seen. He had the remote control. Every time Barry Fry swore, my dad would mute the television. He'd unmute it, Barry Fry would swear again. He'd mute the television. He'd unmute it, Barry Fry. He ended up editing out everything except the swearing. He'd never got a job on Radio 1, would he? No chance. There's no swearing allowed on Radio 1. The problem is, sometimes they edit the swearing out of the songs on Radio 1. It completely changes the meaning of the song. I'm sure we'll all know this CeeLo Green song, Fuck You. I see you riding round town with a girl I love and I'm like, fuck you. It's quite an angry breakup song in which CeeLo Green expresses his displeasure in seeing this guy driving round town with a girl he loves, right? They've got a clean version now. The first time I heard it, they just edited out the swearing. The problem was, it made it sound like driving round town with a girl that CeeLo Green loves was the kind of crazy caper this guy got up to all the time. It was like, I see you driving round town with a girl I love and I'm like, you... Hey, driving round town with a girl I love. What are you like? So with that in mind, I'm going to kick things off this evening, I think, by just telling you about a few things that piss me off. And I'm going to start with this. It seems to me at the moment, every time I go to get money out of the cash machine, every time I go to withdraw cash from a cash machine, the person that uses it before me takes 10 minutes. You seen these people? I'm actually starting to think there's an extra feature on there that I just haven't seen. I don't know, Facebook? Football highlights? I'm actually starting to wonder if banks have developed a sense of humour and actually stuck a feature on their cash machines to piss off the person behind you in the queue. Maybe that's why these people keep checking over their shoulder. It's like, is there someone behind you? Yes. Do they look like they're in a hurry? Yes. Do you like the look of them? No. Then press here to play Sonic the Hedgehog. I had a worse one the other day, though. I was queuing up to use a cash machine the other day. I was second, right, in a queue of about 6 or 7 people, I guess. One queue, 2 cash machines. What we were doing, we were just waiting for the first available machine and using that pretty standard stuff. System I'm guessing we've probably all used at some point in our lives, right? This woman appears beside me, taps me on the shoulder and says, excuse me. I said, yes. She said, are you all queuing for that machine on the left? I said, you what? No, I don't think so. No, I think we're just waiting for the first available machine and using that. She said, well, I always queue for whichever machine I'm going to use. I said, well, we didn't know you were coming, did we? We kind of had this whole unspoken arrangement whereby we'd just form one queue and wait for the first available machine. Clearly what we hadn't factored in was the unexpected arrival of a fucking idiot. I grew up in a small town. I'm sure other people did here this evening, and it's quite nice growing up in a small town. What I possibly don't like about sort of growing up or living in a small town is this. Everyone knows one another. Sometimes you'll go out into town, let's just say on a Saturday afternoon, you'll bump into people you know. Quite often you end up bumping into people you're really hoping you'd never see again. So for that reason, I limit my visits back there. Christmas is now when I go back. Just once a year, Christmas. I went back at Christmas. This happened. I bumped into this guy. I would never have seen him again by choice, just to give you an idea of the sort of person we're dealing with here, just to paint a bit of a picture. I'm sure we've all probably met someone like this at some point in our lives. He's a dickhead. But it was one of those situations where I'd seen him coming down the high street, he was waving, he was calling my name, he'd clearly seen me. I was stuck, I wasn't going to be able to avoid speaking to him. Someone had told me he'd had a party on the previous Saturday, so I thought, well, I'm stuck here, I'm going to have to speak to him. It's fine, I know he's had a party at the weekend. We'll have a little chat about that, we'll both be on our way. So I said, hello, John. Nice to see you, mate. Here you had a party at the weekend. How was that? Now, I have to stress at this point, this is without editing, 100%, genuinely what he replied. He went, yeah. Bang. banging. Wicked pull. Till some bloke broke in, started wanking in my flatmate's face. What? I don't know about you lot, but as far as I'm concerned, if I'm having a party, the minute someone breaks in and starts wanking in my flatmate's face, the whole party's been a total disaster. I don't care how much fun everyone was having up until that point. If someone had appeared with a remote control and paused him when he said wicked until, I don't think I would ever have guessed what he was going to say next. As far as I'm concerned, that little nugget of information's the headline of the story, isn't it? You'd start with that bit, surely. You would save that till the end. Imagine that as a question on the what happened next section of a quiz show. OK, question 5. John's party was wicked until what? A, he ran out of booze. B, he had a complaint from the neighbours about the noise. Or was it C, someone broke in and started wanking in his flatmate's face? Unbelievable. So I was driving round town the other day, actually. I hit a pothole in my car. I don't know if anyone else has had this. Snapped the suspension under the front 2 wheels of my car. I was livid. £197 to have it fixed. £197. I was furious. And I thought, well, this isn't my responsibility. It's the council's pothole. They should have had it filled in, surely. They should pay for this. I thought, right, strongly worded letter of complaint. That'll sort this out. Out came the pen and paper. I said, Dear Waltham Forest Council, I've hit a pothole in my car. It's snapped the suspension under the front 2 wheels. It's cost £197 to have it fixed. I don't think I should have to pay for this. It's your pothole. I want a refund. About a week later, I get a letter back saying, Dear Mr McCaffrey, we've had a look. You're absolutely right. On the date you mentioned, there was a pothole on the stretch of road you mentioned. However, we'd actually got some contractors to come and fill the hole in. They hadn't turned up when they were supposed to. We think this is their responsibility and we suggest you take this up with them. Thank you very much for your inquiry, is how they did the letter. Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I was livid. A lot of big companies end replies to letter of complaints like this. Thank you for your inquiry. It wasn't an inquiry, it was a complaint. What thank you for your inquiry basically means is we've had a little look at your complaint. We're not going to do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. Fuck off. Secondly, don't start bringing the contractors into it. It's not the playground. Grow up. You're the council. Do you know what I mean? Don't start grassing people up. Oh, it wasn't our fault. It's the contractors. They said they'd be here. They never turned up. Anyway, about 10 days later, I get a speeding ticket on the same stretch of road. It's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. I was doing 37. I'm a renegade. What can I say? And at first, I was furious. And then I thought, no. Good opportunity for a bit of revenge. Out came the pen and paper again. Dear Waltham Forest Council, I've had a look. You're absolutely right. On the date you mentioned, I was doing 37 miles an hour on the stretch of road you mentioned. However, due to Champions League football, Coronation Street was on half an hour earlier than usual. I had to drive home at this speed in order to get home in time to watch it. I think this is ITV's responsibility, and I suggest you take it up with them. Thank you very much for your inquiry. I suffer from something called oral allergy syndrome. I don't know if anyone else suffers from this. Basically means I'm allergic to a lot of fruit. It's a posh way of saying I'm allergic to fruit. Pears, plums, apples is probably the worst one. Now, a girl I know recently offered me an apple. I said, I won't, thank you very much. I'm actually allergic. She said, oh, yeah. But you're just saying that to try and be cool. Let me tell you now, I've done some pretty ridiculous things in my life in an attempt to be cool. I've worn a cravat. I've greeted someone by saying, yes, easy dread. I was part of a 2-man Hampshire-based graffiti crew called the Mash Up Plenty Policeman Posse. Extraordinary lengths I've gone to in an attempt to be cool. I think even I would probably draw the line at pretending to be allergic to fruit. I think the coolest thing I do now is festivals, going to music festivals. We look like quite a festival crowd. I love a festival. Yeah, that's right, my people. It's my favourite kind of person. You get a good mix of people at a festival. I think my favourite type of punter at a festival are these people that think a festival is a good opportunity for them to reveal the real them. Do you know these people? They think they've got a wild side and a festival is the chance for them to show it to the world, right? You might bump into someone you work with, right? And they'll walk towards you, and as they're walking towards you, they get this stupid look on their face like... Surprised? Yeah, I keep this side of me pretty well hidden at work. It's like, all right, mate, you got a Kings of Leon T-shirt. You're not a fucking werewolf. And I hate being told, because I'm at a festival, I have to have fun. I think the most depressing phrase in existence is, there's a time and place to have fun, and this isn't it. You know, like when you're at school or at work, people telling you that that's not the place for fun. I think the other side of the coin is just as bad. People that tell you just because you're in a club or at a festival, you have to enjoy yourself. I got bullied into dancing at a festival last year. I'm not proud of this. Unfortunately for me, my face's default setting is somewhere between worried and pissed off. That's how it falls. I'm waiting for my friend to come out of the gents' toilets at a festival, you know, and this is just how I enjoy myself. Like the face, not waiting for my friend to come out. I'm not a pervert. And as I'm stood there, I see this pack of angry ravers approaching, and as they got close, I could see the sort of ringleader wasn't happy with me just stood there, and they got up close and he went, "Come on, mate, get into it, it's a festival." Now, rather than give him the correct response to this, which would have been, all right, I'm just waiting for my friend to come out of the toilet, I went... Waited till he turned round, watched him walk over the hill, thinking, tell me to dance again, dickhead, see what you get. Then he turned back around and went, oh, sorry, OK. It became a bit of a catchphrase that weekend. Come on, it's a festival. I heard it again. I was asleep in my tent, right? It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And some people had arrived late next to me, putting their tent up. And I got woken up because one of them stamped on my head through the wall of my tent. I went, oh, what the bloody hell do you think you're doing? He went, come on, mate, get into it. It's a festival. I said, oh, sorry, I forgot. It's a festival. Go and get your mates. Let's all have a stamp, shall we? Enjoy yourselves. Then they're at it again about an hour later, screaming this time. I just nodded off again, screaming. Ah! Ah! I've had too much ketamine, this bloke was saying. I've had too much ketamine. Then I heard another voice say, you know what, I'll sort you out, mate. Nice big dab of MDMA. I thought, thank God there's a health professional in there. Oh, Dr. Feelbad and his drugs for everything method. Seems to be the problem here. Heart attack, go and get the acid. So this has been nice. I think it's gone quite well. I don't like to brag, but I think it's gone OK. I don't like a bragger. I don't think anyone really does, you know. But particularly, I hate these people that try and disguise the fact that they're bragging. You know, these people, they'll try and trick you into thinking they're talking about something. In actual fact, the whole reason they'll be talking about it is just so that halfway through, they just slip a little bragging under the radar. We've all encountered this. It'd be something like, bloody hell. Yeah, had to get a new water filter today. Old one was broken. 25 quid for a new one from Boots. Bloody annoying. Could have really done with a drink of water as well. I'd just run 10 miles in just under an hour. Bloody thing was broken. It'd be something like I was in Asda again today. Oh, God, that shop. Asda. Awful place, isn't it? That stupid green uniform. The food's horrible. Problem is, it's the only place in town they sell extra-large condoms, so I have to keep going back there. The problem is this, a lot of people that do it, they're very good at it, they're very skillful, so when they leave the room, everyone else has been fooled by them. They just think it's been a normal conversation. I start slagging them off, I become the bad guy. I'm like, bloody hell, I didn't go much on him. Bit of a big head, wasn't he? Everyone's like, oh, come on, Paul. What on earth is wrong with you? He's a nice enough bloke. All he talked about was water filters and Asda. What's wrong with that? I tell you, I met a bloke last week that did exactly that, and it pissed me off. Last Wednesday it was, quiz night in my local pub. I was just in there having a few drinks with an ex-girlfriend of mine, actually. Glamour model, stunning. And this bloke... So you just kept doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been an absolute joy. I've been Paul McCaffrey. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Nice one. Ladies and gentlemen, what about...